So I will have 6 forwards. There are 4 locks.
Yes.
Giannis, Jason Tatum, Kevin Durant, LeBron James. And that is take into account, yes, some injury absences and everything else, but like Kevin Durant is one of the greatest players in the history of the game and played enough games that like I'm not, the games played thing is not going to disqualify him. Same with LeBron. So those 4 are locks. That leaves 2 forward spots for some combination of, I think it's these 4. Tell me if you think I'm leaving anybody out. You won't, because you're not going to want to cloud this even further. Pascal Siakam, Jimmy Butler, DeMar DeRozan, Jaren Jackson Jr.
Yeah.
I think it's that group of, I mean, I don't think I'm missing anybody there. Do you?
No, I mean, it's at that point, it's like Jaylen Brown. It's like Brandon Ingram. Like, yeah, it starts to really fall off. Like, I think there's a tier.
Yeah. So that being the case, and look, you could further cloud this by saying, oh, Bam Adebayo, who's pretty much a center at this stage.
Nah, no need, Howard. No need. Stick to the 4 you got.
No, he's a center.
You're good. You're good. We should dock Jimmy Butler some points for, breaking up the Heat culture a little bit there with what we saw.
or did he strengthen it?
Yeah. Are you pro Heat culture or what's your deal with that, Howard?
I'm all about Heat culture. I love Heat culture.
Heat culture is just working hard. That's all it is.
I would just say this in defense of Heat culture, because people like to make fun of it. We know what it is. Well, it's like it's definable, and they've got an established tradition of operating a certain way and having success behind that. So I think it's fair to say it. There's a Spurs culture too. There's Raptors culture, and the teams that have it in a positive way, you can identify. We should give those teams credit for being consistent in it, and then the teams with persistently lousy, again, I want to use a stronger term but can't, culture. We should identify those teams too. So anyway.
Yeah, you don't want like Kings culture.
No,
is what you're saying. Yeah.
Or Knicks culture.
Oh yes, that's a whole other hour, Howard.
Yeah. Don't get me started. Jimmy doesn't have leap off the page stats. That's not his thing. He's not a big stats guy. He's a lot of everything. And it's like there's just this almost indescribable essence of Jimmy Butler that makes you a winner, I think, or that helps make a team a winner. But all NBA tends to be the guys who are winners and have spectacular stats. So that's going to probably knock him down a little bit, even though, and we still don't have great defensive metrics, but Jimmy Butler's defense matters a lot to that team, and they are number 1 in the East.
Yeah. No, that's fair. I think Jimmy. Jimmy has a good case. Jimmy has a good case. He missed some time. That's really the only thing against him. But I mean, KD's going to make the team. He's going to play like a max of 55 games, I think. So.
Yeah.
I
think Jaren Jackson has kind of gotten lost in the blur of Ja Morant highlights and just the sheer spectacle of the Grizzlies making this huge leap with this group of talk about culture, like Grizz culture. I don't know if it's not necessarily grit and grind anymore, but whatever they're morphing into, like there's a definable culture there. We know what they're about, and it's kind of an ensemble. So trying to parcel out how much of that is about Jaren Jackson, his defense and his scoring, so that's an interesting puzzle. And then DeRozan, I feel like, is still kind of, I don't want to say coasting or just riding the momentum, but to an extent there is a little bit of momentum of DeRozan goes to Chicago, the Bulls all of a sudden make this big leap, they have this great early season, and DeMar DeRozan is not, you guys tell me, because again, you watched more of him than I do during all his years in Toronto. Like, is DeMar DeRozan substantially different now than he was the last couple of years with San Antonio or before that with Toronto?
No, I mean, he's the same guy. He's done it slightly better than he was before. Maybe slightly is even, it sounds negative, but he's gotten really efficient at playing his game. But he is fundamentally the same guy. Great in the mid-range, draws fouls, and plays little defense.
Yeah, he's a better version of what he's always been, is what I would say. And I think it's fair too, because a lot of these awards, there is narratives surrounding it. He is getting a narrative push, right, being on this Bulls team.
Yeah, this is another situation with like Cleveland. The team was kind of doing nothing. He comes, and all of a sudden they're in the playoff picture. Now, of course, they're sliding, and Chicago has the rare ability to lose every single game to a team better than them. It's actually, I've never seen a team like this, Howard. Have you? Like, the Chicago stat is just incredible. They haven't won a single game all season against the top 3 seeds in each conference.
Astounding.
It's ridiculous. I've never seen anything
Because
like
you would think over 82 games,
like
at least you pull off a couple wins at home.
Yeah, there were lots of COVID absences.
Yeah.
Like, you may just run into the team at the wrong time, but never, not even once.
Yeah, I think DeMar's getting a push too. In
he
terms
hit the game
of
winners. Too.
The game winners,
really
number one, number two, the king of the fourth, the clutch stats, all of that stuff, right? I think all that stuff is giving him a huge push.
Yeah,
like I wouldn't be mad if he was an all NBA. I think he's earned it this year.
Yeah, he's earned it. I'm not sure if I'll actually put him on the ballot in the end. Yeah. It may be like, I will say, out of that group of 4, Siakam has the strongest case and is the one that I'm most likely to end up giving one of those last 2 spots to.
We did it, Will.
Oh, hold on. We didn't even pressure Howard into that one. I was like, DeMar's great.
Where was Bontemps on this? How much did you have to twist Bontemps?
Well, what happened? What happened was Will was like, "Hey, I've got all these stats in the case for Pascal for you," and Tim's like, "I don't want to hear it."
I was like, "Whoa!" I was just gonna tell you about his per game numbers. Like, it's come on now. I wasn't gonna make up a number here. We're honest reporters. He is definitely a feisty guy. I enjoyed speaking with him.
We need all campaign debates to be like this. The world would be a better place.
This is a very peaceful one, actually. I really enjoyed it. But yeah, I mean, I guess I don't even have to present the Pascal case. I mean, it's not really much of a case. I mean, in terms of like needing to push it, like I think it's pretty obvious. Like basically, since he returned from COVID at the end of December, he's been averaging 24, 9, 6, 1.5 steals on 50% shooting, 38% from 3, and also getting to free throw line 6 times a game. The Raptors have been one of the best teams. The Raptors have the 5th best record in the entire league in the calendar year of 2022. Pascal has been clear-cut the best guy. You know, even if for a lot of people, I'm sure when they go through the All-NBA voting, it's like you look at the top teams, you know, you generally like to get a little bit from each team. And yeah, I mean, I think that's where if you looked at it on January 1st, so it's probably like, okay, DeMar just hit back-to-back game winners. He's a lock. Now you look at it, the Bulls have slid in the standings to the point where they're 6th. It's like, yeah, well, I don't know if DeMar is so much of a lock over a guy like Pascal. But, Howard, we appreciate your time. We wish we could have held you longer.
No, we got what we needed. Yeah. So
okay. Is that why?